So we're getting a brand new Evil Dead film, Evil Dead Rise. It's with New Line. It's going to be released on HBO Max, and it's about what you'd expect, I think. It's about what you'd expect from most new films that are taking on franchises that have a storied history. We've recently had the report that Amber Midthunder will be going up against the Predator, so a teenager going up against the Predator. And basically, yeah, it's about what you'd expect, like I say. If you don't expect these things nowadays, then you haven't been reading The Room or looking at the news. Now, these are the two leads that will be in said film. Like I say, it's about what you'd expect. But we have loads and loads and loads of information, loads of interviews, statements, etc. And it is interesting. It is going to be an interesting venture to watch at the very least. So we'll dive into this today. Just before we do, guys, if you're new here, do consider hitting subscribe. If you're a returning subscriber, do consider checking out my second channel, which is actually linked in the description box, where I rebuild cars. It's slightly odd, I know, but I'm rebuilding a rally car, a Nissan Pulsar GTIR. It's a JDM legend. It's called the Baby GTR for a reason. And also we've got memberships open, so do consider supporting the channel. You get exclusive benefits for as little as 99 pence per month. With that out of the way, let's get into one of the first of these statements. So 40 years after filmmaker Sam Raimi unleashed the Evil Dead, New Line is unveiling a Evil Dead Rise, a new installment in the cult horror franchise set to debut on HBO Max. Now, it's unclear if the film will also get a theatrical release at this stage. I doubt it. I think this will be one of those films that they want just as an HBO Max exclusive, something that they can push out there. It may get a theatrical release, but I can't really see it. I can't see it. Now, we've got Lee Cronin will be the writer and director. Now, he had a directorial debut with The Hole in the Ground, so he's writing and directing. He's said to actually be handpicked by Sam Raimi, but I've just done a review of The Unholy, and that's not much to go by anymore. Sam Raimi is the producer on there, and that was a garbage film. Like, it was really, really bad. So I don't actually care that he's been handpicked by Raimi, and I don't think anyone else should, quite frankly. Robert Tappert, producer of the 1981 original, returns to produce, so maybe good. But then again, you've also got Raimi and Bruce Campbell executive producing. Good location though. It's going to be shooting in New Zealand in June. It looks like it may have been rushed through pre-production. I mean, they're shooting in June. Like, that's pretty quick. So I don't know what to make of that specifically, but it could be good, could be bad, quite frankly. Now, Evil Dead Rise takes the undead action away from the cabin in the woods and actually into a city. Now, I don't know. I've got to sort of, I've got to put my cap on here where I think a little bit critically, and I look at it and I go, maybe they're taking some of the fame from Resident Evil. Maybe they're taking on some of that and going, we can have some of that. It does sound a bit like that, doesn't it? Into the city, straight away. Why? What a weird... I mean, fine. It's going to be different. But it does sound like they've seen Resident Evil reboots, remakes, whatever, and gone, yeah, let's get in on some of that. I could be wrong, but it does seem like the motivation, especially as they've just announced it and it's going to start shooting in June. It does sound that way, doesn't it? Now, the rough story is two estranged sisters reunion is cut short when flesh-possessing demons thrust them into a battle for survival. So the film is led by Alyssa Sutherland, known for Spike's The Mist and History's Vikings, and Lily Sullivan, whose credits include Picnic at Hanging Rock and Jungle. So nothing actually major. This will probably be their biggest role to date. We'll have to see how they do. But the fact that they're jumping into the city, to me it does sound like they've just taken elements from Resident Evil and gone, yeah, let's do that. Because we've got Resident Evil series and we've got a Resident Evil movie in the works. So it does sound like that. I could be wrong, but like I say, studios love to latch on to things that are popular. And if they think something's going to be popular even before it is or it isn't popular, they will pump out movies based around it. So I think I'm right. Now, we get a statement from Raimi himself, saying, "I'm thrilled to bring Evil Dead back to its original home at New Line, 40 years after the release of the first film. The company's history as pioneers of horror speaks for itself. I'm equally excited to be working with Lee Cronin, whose gifts as a storyteller make him the ideal filmmaker to continue the enduring legacy of the franchise." Cool. Campbell made a statement as well, and obviously he's at this point he's not going to be in it, maybe just as a brief cameo, but he's not in it. He's not the character. And he says, "At its core, Evil Dead is about ordinary people overcoming extraordinary, terrifying situations. I can't wait for Alyssa and Lily to fill the blood-soaked shoes of those who have come before them and carry on that tradition." I don't mind that he's not going to be in it, but you can take a lot of what he says with a pinch of salt at this point because he's an executive producer, so he will be putting money behind it, and he's got a vested interest in it actually doing very, very well. So again, remains to be seen. The statements from Sam Raimi are neither here nor there, quite frankly. Now, Cronin, who is said to have been handpicked by Raimi, again, take that with a pinch of salt because it literally doesn't matter. Sam Raimi produced The Unholy. That is an ungodly bad film. But anyway, he says in a statement, "The Evil Dead movies filled my brain with terror and awe when I first saw them at 9 years old. I'm excited and humbled to be resurrecting the most iconic of evil forces for both the fans and a whole new generation." PR fluff, it sounds quite good though. Don't hate it. Again, it's PR fluff, isn't it, really, at the end of the day? But don't hate it, it doesn't sound bad. Now, New Line has a proud history of involvement in some of the most influential and enduring horror films of all time. And the original, The Evil Dead, was a landmark moment for the studio. The movie transformed the genre, and with each new installment, Sam, Rob, and Bruce have continued to raise the bar. Now, this is the president and chief creative officer of New Line. And he continues further and says, "It's exciting to have them back in the fold for Evil Dead Rise after all these years, especially as they bring with them an immense talent in director Lee Cronin. His inventive spirit and his reverence for the franchise make him the perfect director to unleash Evil Dead once again." Look, I don't know what to make of it. At this stage, I don't think it's good or bad at this point. Look, again, it's about what you'd expect. Most franchises nowadays, when they are rebooted, remade, continued, sequels, retcon, soft reboot, whatever, they normally go down this line. Again, like I said, with Predator 5, you've got Amber Midthunder, a young teen girl, going up against a 7 to 8 foot tall intergalactic super hunter. So it is about what you'd expect, and at this stage, if you don't expect it, newsflash, you're really going to have to expect it these days. So neither here nor there. It's going to be on HBO Max, so good for people in the States, bad for anyone else in the world because HBO Max hasn't rolled out worldwide yet. Hopefully it'll get a theatrical release. I don't know if I can see it getting that though. Yeah, I don't know. New Line is basically a subsidiary of Warner Media, if I remember rightly. So they would basically own it outright. Yeah, it's sort of umbrella corporations and things like that, but could they just stick it on HBO Max and make what they think back money-wise on it? Yeah, probably. But I also don't think Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell would have signed on as executive producers if the deal was to be an HBO Max exclusive. So I'm holding out some hope that it'll be released in theatres, but we'll have to see. What do you guys think, though? Let me know down below. If you are new here and you stayed this long, you best hit subscribe because you clearly enjoyed the video. Also, hit that thumbs up button on your way out. Returning subscribers, check you are still subscribed. Please do hit that thumbs up button and please do share the video. Again, check out my second channel and check out memberships. Cheers, take care.